Hey everyone, welcome back to the second tutorial video of the World Creator 2023 Early Access Preview version. My name is Stefan Kraus and I'm from Byte the Bytes. And in this video, I'm going to show you and explain everything about the terrain element settings here. Okay, let's get started. So, you have that seed value. If you hit those, then the internal generator creates a new terrain, entire new terrain with a different seed, giving you completely different results. You can also push this button for some random seeds. You can save those and you can store them back. For example, if I'm changing it here, you can go to the database, store them back. You can save another value. Let's save the third one here, save it. Then it's in the list here. And you can switch between your favorite things. If you want to delete one of these, hit the X file, select the other, hit the X file, and they are out. Okay, now let's switch back to the initial seed value here. The next one here is about the terrain size. So you're starting off with the 1K terrain. 1K means it's 1024 by 1024 meters. In a pixel space, it's like 1024 pixels by 1024 pixels. Okay, you can go up to 2K terrain, 4K, 8K, 16K, and 32K, or even up on whatever size you can think of, like 99,000 by 99,000. K terrain. So what you obviously will see is like the higher the resolution of the terrain, the less detail you have here. No worries, internally World Creator create up to a really extremely high detail terrain, but for visualization reasons and for memory reasons and for performance reasons, the visualization reduces them with a different level of detail. Now, if you want to make this kind of detail more detailed because you're working on because you want to work on a real large terrain, look at how large it is, but you want to have the details so you see what you're actually doing, you have to go to the preview mode here and select, for example, camera. So now that means as your camera moves, you get the details around your camera for the spots you are at. Here we have some rendering artifacts which we will get rid of until release. Now the really good thing about this is like you always get, wherever you're flying, you get the positions and the details on the terrain. We will improve this system further on, like you get very high detail if you're near the camera, and the farther you get away, the less more detail you get until you get this kind of detail of very far pointing arrays, terrains. Okay. So another option is like you're setting exactly the location you want the detail to be. Like here, it's an area you can move and just check, okay, how does it look like here? How does it look like over here? And you also can scale that to be a much higher detail for a much higher area, depending on what you're working on, or you reduce it. So now, which is really important to understand is like here, because there are limitations, physical limitations for your computer and for your memory and for your GPU, it's impossible to display everything at a very ultra high detail. So that's why we have this sort of level of detail control in World Creator. Okay. Now, there is another field which is called precision, which means in what kind of precision you want to have the generating to be processed. If it's 1 meter, it is like if you're standing on the ground, then the next level of detail you will see is 1 meter in front of you, and the second is in 2 meters in front of you. So that means that actually the changes here in between are 1 meter. Okay, so if you want to have a much higher detail, then you would have to increase the precision, like you go to 1.5 meter, and you can see that we have a much more crispy terrain now with the 1.5 meter. I'm trying to explain again. So if we remove details, we're going up to 4 meter. We have a very, very undetailed terrain. If we're setting up to 2 meter, we have a little bit higher detail. We get 1 meter higher detail, 1.5, 1 1/4. And now watch what's going to happen. Like if I go to 1 1/8, no changes, right? Okay, now if this happens, then it means that the internal generator is not able to produce higher details for that kind of area because the preview area is too large. So reducing this preview area, giving the GPU more room for higher details, and you get what you want, okay? So try again. 1.5, 1/4, 1/8. We go in deeper. 1/16. Now we have a cap again. Reduce it. And we have the 1/16 meter, okay? Look at this. 1/8 and 1/16. Now, I will now enable the mannequin that we have built in so you can see around the references what it really means in detail, okay? So I'm opening the scene tab here, going over to render, enable my reference object, point somewhere on the terrain, hit the M key on the keyboard, and I'm zooming in. Now this is the detail that you would have on a mesh, and it's really, really huge because this sort of detail typically is made by textures using displacement maps, okay? So you can continue this kind of detail increasing if you're reducing the preview areas around you and you get more and more detail, okay? However, this is just for visualization reasons. If you are choosing, if you're choosing to create a really large terrain and you are okay with a view like this and you're going to export your terrain, no worries, you don't have to choose a higher precision. It will export automatically to the ultra high precision that you are selecting afterwards, okay? So I'm just trying to explain you that if you want to see higher details, a very, very close up, you need to set up the preview mode with the camera, select the location, reduce a little bit that preview here, zoom in and set up the precision level. That way you get the ultra high details here. Okay, now let me see how it would affect on a much smaller terrain, like with the standard default terrain, okay? What would happen if we don't use the preview here anymore and we're placing our object just right here? How far can we go in? So 132 would be, I think, already too much. 116, we are already over, okay? 1/8, we are already over. 1/4, this seems to be the maximum. 1.5, and here we see the changes, okay? 1/4. Now I'm changing to set mode. I'm using it, going in here, because I want to see more details. I go to 1/8, wow, amazing. I go up to 116, wow, it's getting crazy, to 132, and we have even more. Okay, now you have a reference, you see the ultra detail of the terrain, and you can create any terrain size that you want inside World Creator. You don't even have to be, just switching back here, reducing to none, you don't even have to be in a square terrain. You can do whatever kind you want here. You can do like this here. You can go like, I don't know, like this. So all this is possible. There are no limitations, no restrictions. Do whatever size you want. Do up to planetary scale size in an unlimited detail with an unlimited size. All is possible in World Creator. There's no restrictions anymore compared to World Creator 2022. Okay, that's it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, I'm going to step through the filters and explain, show you a bunch of the new filters that we have, and yeah. Have a great day and make sure to watch the next tutorial video. Bye bye.